The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to my favorite day of the week with my favorite person of the week as well. Award-winning psychologist, Dr. Geraldine Tan. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, and I would say that you're my favorite DJs.
Oh, boy, are you a
Glenn
sight
and
for
the
sore
Flying
eyes. Not Angel, only Glenn, the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, no Angel today.
Where's Angel anyway?
She's on leave.
She's on leave.
Aw, enjoy your leave, Angel.
And Jerry, you look like you're on leave as well. You're not in Singapore, are you?
I'm not on leave. I'm on mummy duties.
Oh,
I'm in
mummy
Malaysia. Greeting
Oh.
everyone from Malaysia.
Are you in KL?
Yes, I'm in KL.
Okay.
So, yeah, my little girl has a ballet comm.
Wow.
So have you done any shopping or not? You've been there since, Saturday, right?
Saturday. No,
Yeah, the exchange
there's
rate is
no
good,
time
no?
to do shopping.
You must shop. The
You have
exchange
to.
rate is so good.
The exchange rate is so good. How can you not shop?
I know, but when I don't know how the sports mummies do it, the performing arts mummies do it, but oh my God, it's a full-time commitment, man.
Yeah, you see, I know one, and it's their passion is almost as great as the child. It's crazy how they do it. I don't
Maybe
understand.
I should cultivate some passion then.
But I think it's a good thing you're there. You know why not, Jerry? Because you're a psychologist, and I'm sure you are encouraging them in a very positive way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they're not encouraged in a positive way, they could come down with performance anxiety, and then they won't be
That
able
is
to dance.
true.
True.
That
And
is true, but I think it's all the mummies that are present here. It's some of the daddies also who are very encouraging. So it's like a little kampong that we have here.
oh, that's awesome. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think they're pretending, They know you're a psychologist. So they're on their best behavior,
Yeah.
the parents.
They're all acting properly. They go, otherwise Jerry will talk about us on the show, no?
Yeah. So I better keep my whip.
No, I don't. Just in case it goes out, I don't talk about any of the mummies or daddies.
Oh, but come on, tell
Oh,
us some of the
dear me.
horror stories you've seen so far.
No. Let's not.
Interesting stories of the girls, which maybe later on we can talk about it.
But it's
Yeah,
interesting,
but
Jerry.
yes, it's true about performance anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Because it came out very differently for the different girls, and for mine, she was like, I don't want you to come for my semis. I don't want you to sit in. I don't want to see you. And I felt so hurt and so rejected. Like, why? Why don't you want me to be there? And some of the other girls are the same. They said, I don't want you to go there because what if I perform poorly or I feel very pressured? My little girl is like, what if you go and tell other people, which I don't, maybe I do, but yeah.
That's why
But
sometimes I feel kids are, a little. Parents are not hard enough on their kids these days. That's why, for the slightest thing, right? They feel pressure. Mommy is looking at me right now. I feel pressure. Daddy is looking at me. I feel pressure.
I used to play sports for my school, and I never wanted my father there.
Why?
It's just pressure. You don't want to let him down. It's crazy pressure.
Oh.
Anyway.
Right. But they are very sweet. They want each other there, so they
Yeah.
are looking out for each other. They're
Yeah.
looking out for their teachers who are also have accompanied them. And the teacher, I must give a big shout out to Miss Mar and Miss Bao, who get up early at 6 o'clock and crawled into our rooms at 6:45 to do their makeup, and the makeup's all done now.
Oh yeah, there's makeup and everything.
Yes,
Oh my goodness, this is
yes,
so troublesome.
yes.
Okay, let's continue to talk about this on the Big Show TV. It is Tuesday, the 30th of May. All right, dancing, ballet,
It's performing arts, so you definitely make up your costume.
the hair.
It's not like us. We put on shorts or jersey and boots and we go out and play football. It's different, no? These guys go through a lot, and you imagine it, huh? And I can feel for your daughter because I mean, I had daughters. The pressure starts when the makeup is going on, because that's when you start to think. You ask your daughter,
The
Jerry.
makeup starts even before the makeup starts.
They wake up and
the
already I've
pressure
got
starts.
wake up and
Yeah,
I've already got
yeah.
this ahead of me. Now the makeup is going on, and
Yeah.
the expectation is just rising. It's crazy.
And it's very interesting. So when you have a concert, you see all of them snacking a lot. But this time I see all of them not being able to eat until after the whole thing. So they really look forward to meals where they can sit down and properly eat. Otherwise, the anxiety, you're absolutely right. They don't say it, but I'm sure when they say they're nervous, how we see it is they start dancing, jumping on the spot, running
Yeah.
on the spot, or their voices get a little bit sharper, or they start to talk nonsense. Go like, where did all that come from? So it's quite interesting to watch them, but they would say, "Oh my God, oh my God!" So that's all we see, that they don't recognize how their body feels. They don't recognize what they're thinking. So it's very essential for the adults to recognize how they actually present themselves, and to adjust that a little bit.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question, because if like with your daughter, it's jumping on the spot and whatever else, performance anxiety also spreads to your exams, for example. How do we
Yes.
recognize if our child is going through performance anxiety for an exam? What are we looking for?
So if you look at the what we are very familiar with, the fight, flight, and freeze. So some of them would study more. So you see some of them who wake up early in the morning and just keep mugging and mugging, and refuse to sleep at night. So we remind them that, hey, please go and sleep. Sleep is essential, because they say, oh, but I can't focus if I sleep too much. That's what they think, because they're so nervous that they think by cramming everything in their brains last minute or 24 hours it would work. It would not work.
I think
Or
I
they
think that's
refuse to eat.
I think that's normal. I think when I was growing up, that was exactly how I felt. Sometimes before a performance or something like that, I would feel that, and as a result of that, I would want to work harder. And the weeks leading up to a competition or an exam, this is how I would go about doing things. But I think there's a darker side to performance anxiety.
What's that?
And that is panic attacks. Panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Now, are they the same thing? A panic attack and an
No.
anxiety attack?
No. So the panic attack usually occurs very randomly. So you hear things like you're walking or you're driving. The very, very dangerous one is when they're driving and they keel over,
Oh.
and they think that they are having a panic. They think that they are having a heart attack. So many of them say, they clutch their chest and go, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. But they're not having a heart attack. They're having a panic attack. They have short of breath, their heart palpitation. They still can speak. There's nausea, there may be dizziness, but it is not a heart attack. Neither is it an anxiety attack, because of the nature of it. It is too random, and you cannot figure out. So most of the time, they would think about it and go, I don't know what caused it. There was nothing extremely stressful that might have brought this on. Whereas if you're looking at anxiety attack, you kind of know what you're anxious about already. There is this gradual sort of built up with maybe an anticipation of some event or a deadline or a situation, and it is or a very stressful period of time. And then you have your heart palpitation or your breathlessness, or you start to feel quite sick. And so the symptoms are similar. So one is more random, and the other you can actually pinpoint it to a certain stressful situation or event.
So over the weekend, when I was watching my Everton play for their Premier League survival, I was having an anxiety attack. I was not having a panic
You
Panic
were
attack.
just
attack.
kanchiong lah.
No, I felt ill. I
He
felt
felt
like puking.
ill, Jerry. He felt ill.
Oh, really?
I felt like puking.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
You were so stressed about
I
the
was stressed.
result.
I went to the fridge. I grabbed a Corona. I had one Corona real quick. I felt better.
So that is my question. He reached for a Corona because he's an adult. But what do we do with children who have these panic attacks? We'll deal with that in a moment.
All right. We're going on air traffic in just a while.
Yep.
Okay. Stand by, Jerry? Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room, coming to you live from Malaysia. She's over there accompanying her beautiful daughter, who is involved in a ballet competition.
So cool.
Morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
And we're talking about
During
anxiety. No, we're talking
everyone-
about performance anxiety this morning.
and panic attacks and anxiety attacks. So you have a kid who's going through a panic attack, right?
No, she doesn't.
No, I'm just saying. If you have a kid that's going through a panic, what do we as parents do?
Okay, so let's hope that it doesn't get to a panic attack yet. Let's look at just normal panic. I think when we have children who are stressed, it's how we look at it, right? Are we stressing over it also? Because the children would have double the stress. They stress because they feel pressured, and they stress because we feel stress. So therefore they feel double the stress. So just taking note of where the stress source are coming from. Is it just the exams itself, or is it that they are trying to please everybody? So we start eliminating stressors, right? Also having a healthy lifestyle. So I cannot emphasize enough about a healthy lifestyle. Waking up on time, or waking up at a certain time, sleeping early, having your meals, having a good sort of a rhythm to the day, rather than rushing through the day and rushing in from one thing to another thing. This is a surefire way for the child to then feel even worse about whatever that they are approaching, because they are already tense. The body is already tense. So really a healthy lifestyle that has a good pacing would be very essential. So even for adults, if you're rushing from one thing to another thing to another thing, and we say, we're not stressed, I'm very excited, I've got a lot of energy, which children often do. And some of us often say that, right? Most of the time, if you rush, after a period of time, your body will just give up. Your body will say, enough of this rushing already.
Jerry, what do you say to parents? And I've actually heard this with my own 2 years, and my ears are very big. I've actually heard this. Come on, this is the real world. Learn to deal with it.
I love that. That's how I was brought up,
I know, it's how I was brought up too.
Okay, I think it's not an unfair statement. However, they did not continue speaking or did not continue the sentence. It is the real world, and that's how it is. So teach them how to deal with it. Often parents say a sentence halfway. They don't complete it with how do I deal with it. So children know about what's going on, but they don't know, they're not equipped to deal with what the know-how to deal with different situations. Yeah, so it's not a bad sentence or not an unfair statement.
Yeah.
Just equip them with tools. So they need tools.
Yeah, I can feel. I can't help but feel like some of the younger generation these days, right? They're not as strong
Yeah,
up here.
yeah.
Even I mean, our time, right? I mean, Jerry, when you were growing up, I mean, did anyone talk to you about like mental toughness? Like, come on, Jerry, you got to be tough up here. You gotta fight it. These days it's like the moment you feel a little bit nervous, and okay, it's mental illness, mental wellness. Things like that. I mean, when I was growing up, I used to feel nervous a lot. I never even used to think of it as anxiety. It's like, okay, before a competition or something like that, I would feel nervous. I would tell my parents, wow, I feel extremely nervous right now. And they would go like, no, just calm down. Just calm down. Just compose yourself. That's it. It was never are you having a panic attack? Are you having an anxiety attack? What was that? I didn't even know what that was.
Anxiety wasn't something that was even mentioned when we were growing up.
Exactly. Okay, anyway, let's continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. It is 8:16.
So, Jerry, with what Glenn just said, right, this whole thing of we never had the word anxiety thrown at us these days, do parents who fuss over their children just make it worse?
What a question, right? Different personalities would require different attention. So it doesn't mean that all parents who fuss should not fuss. But there are times where we need to give the children a bit of space so that they can fall, they can explore, and they can grow. So it's like riding a bike, and you're scared, and your parents don't let go of the handlebars because they are afraid that you fall. So is it the child's anxiety or is it the parent's anxiety? So if the parent is holding on to the handlebars and saying, well, my child is scared that they fall. But to ride a bike, you need to let go of the handlebars. So again, I think it is for us to check in with ourselves. Is it our anxiety that we refuse to let go of the handlebars? Because the child has to fall, and we are there to catch them when they fall. We are there to nurse the scratches.
Right. I feel like if a child, right, if a young child, okay, not a teenager or anything, if a young child has a panic attack or an anxiety attack, I think that's an issue.
Yeah.
Because as I said, when we were young, right, we never knew what a panic attack was. We didn't know what an anxiety attack was. No. We didn't know what a heart attack was.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So even if we were feeling anxious, it would be nerves for us.
Yeah, it was just nerves.
You know what I mean? An adult, yes, they go through anxiety attacks, panic attacks, I feel, because they are aware of what they are a bit more knowledgeable when it comes to the signs of a heart attack or whatever,
or
and
anxiety,
so it's playing on their minds. The moment they feel something, they feel like, something is happening to me right now. Maybe I'm having a heart attack. But for a kid, what does a kid know?
Is it because kids today have too much information?
I think so. That's what I'm getting at, actually.
Yeah.
Because they have they have these information, this information that's being maybe they've overheard it,
or it's been disseminated through the internet,
and so it is now in their
TikTok.
system.
Yeah,
they
see it everywhere, right? They see it on TikTok, they see it on Instagram,
and so they start
find it on
overthinking
the internet.
They start
overthinking it.
So the self-diagnosis part is a bit annoying, and rather dangerous. Totally agree with you. I think with the anxiety attack, there's most of the time. So most of my cases who have anxiety attacks, they're most times quite safe. They're in safe environments. So it's the panic attacks that just hits you at random places, random times that are a little bit more dangerous. Now, most of the time, what the the teens get would be anxiety attacks and not panic attacks. So you hear them getting it in school, at home, where they are actually safe and they are already ruminating on several topics or several issues, and they get their they get their anxiety attacks. So I think you're right, when they do a lot of self-diagnosis, they can have self-fulfilling prophecy. But the whole idea about labeling is to create awareness so that you're equipped what to do. So it's just like we go for first aid, and we learn about cuts, we learn about burns, we learn about choking. So although the young ones, they learn about choking, and they say, somebody coughs and they go, "Are you choking? Are you choking?" But they are prepared. So it's like emotional first aid. So we have physical first aid, we have emotional first aid. Unfortunately, most of the time people learn things halfway. They only learn the term, they don't learn the know-how. So that becomes very, very dangerous, because they only know how to label, and then what? They don't know what to do about it.
Matthew has come onto our Facebook page and he's got a very interesting comment. He said, children will always feel a sense of measuring up to their parents, be it expectations or what they perceive to be the standard they think their parents are at. So even if we love and look up to their parents, even if they love and look up to their parents, there's pressure because they want to be like them and fear not measuring up. Is this true? So I want to be like my dad. I want to be like...
Yeah, there are a lot of assumptions there, but we do know that children look up to their parents. We do know that parents are role models for children. So that part is definitely true. The part that is also true is that children tend to have certain expectations of themselves, so perceived expectations. So communication between the parent and child becomes needs to be very clear, that you are your own person, you do you, and you don't need to follow mommy or daddy, right? We are here to guide you, but not have a replacement. So you're not a replacement mommy, or you're not a replacement daddy. So that would be important for us to convey that to the children.
I would imagine this would be very difficult for children who have overachieving parents. It would be, right? And especially if you are a normal child, but your parents have overachieved. It's got to be super tough for the kids.
It should be in the genes, right? If your parents are overachievers, you should be an overachiever too, because you've come from them.
Not necessarily if the parents did it through just, blood and guts and elbow grease.
Yes. So for parents, I guess there's truth in what you're saying, FD. Yeah, so there are some parents that really work very, very hard and they slog to get to where they are. And, if the child feels that he or she cannot measure up, and, it's just average, and average is not good enough, or somewhere along in the environment, the messaging is average is not good enough, then the child will learn that average is not good enough, so therefore I am not good enough.
When we come back, Jerry, I'm going to tell you, so the reason why I brought this up was it strikes home with me and my father. I'll explain it when we come back.
Wow.
Okay. Stand by. Back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We've been speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. And earlier on, I said, it's so sad, when I hear about a child coming down with a panic attack or an anxiety attack, because I feel like, they're so young. They shouldn't even know what a panic attack or an anxiety attack is.
I was talking to Jerry about kids and how they have to deal with overachieving parents, and that connects with me and my father. In the old days, you'd get double promotions and things like this in schools, right? So my dad did his O-levels at 14.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
at 14. I did mine normally at 16.
So you skipped a year. So your
Yeah.
father skipped a year. 14 or
14,
2 years.
2 years. Right? So he did it at 14, I did it at 16. And just pressure on myself, right? I thought I never matched up because he did it at 14 and I did it at 16. I wasn't as good as him. I wasn't good enough until a principal pulled me aside and went, I'm going to ask you one simple question. And I've used this question on all my girls since then. Did you try your best? And I went, yes. He said, did you study? I went, yes. Did you study all year? I went, yes. He said, then there's nothing more you can do. This is who you are. Be proud of who you are. Don't try and live up to someone else. You are you. And be proud of that.
Double promotion. We never experienced that.
So it was only a principal who pulled me out of this. I'm not good enough because my dad did his O levels at 14.
And how did you find out your dad had a double promotion?
He told us.
You see? He was a bit of a show-off, huh?
I don't know. I can't answer that question, Glenn. Seriously.
He shouldn't have said anything.
No, in all seriousness, I can't answer that question. Glenn.
Unless he wanted you to get a double promotion.
Unless he
as
was
well.
trying to motivate me. I don't know.
I think he was showing off. Lah.
I have
You know
no-
how fathers like to show off sometimes.
I don't know. But that was just me, and that's why I asked that question with overachieving parents. Because it's tough.
I see.
It's tough.
Okay. But I really love what the principal said.
Yeah.
Have you put in effort? And that is good enough. That in itself is good enough.
Yeah. And I think more
And
parents, more parents need to
and more
realize this
parents-
with their children.
Exactly. So I use it in sessions also, and they would answer yes, but. So they say, yes, I put in effort, but. So in session, this is another little tip for anyone out there. In session, we often change the but to and. So the BUT to AND. And when you change the word to and, whatever that you are trying to say after the but doesn't fit anymore. Try it. It's actually very difficult. So once you change your language, you also force yourself to change your cognition. So that one of the things that we do in therapy, right, is to try and adjust your cognition. We don't try and throw it over and change it completely. We just do minor tweaks.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, Jerry. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have today.
Oh,
Before
so
we let you
fast. Oh my
go,
goodness.
before we let you go, any last words?
Yes. So I thought Emma Stone is somebody that is more relatable to some generations, I hope. And she
Wait,
says,
isn't she an actress?
Yes, she is.
Emma Stone.
Yes.
Emma Stone. Yeah.
Emma
I like
Stone,
Emma Stone.
Yes. And she says anxiety is something that is part of me, but it's not who I am.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Wasn't she dating Andrew
Garfield.
Garfield?
I
Emma
don't
Stone.
know.
Yes.
I don't know. She
Right?
was, right?
I
don't
think
know.
so, yeah.
That Emma Stone, right?
Yeah.
That Emma Stone, yes, that Emma Stone.
I like Emma Stone.
But I
Whatever
like
happened to
that
Emma Stone?
quote, Jerry. That's a strong quote.
What was the quote again? I missed it.
Powerful.
Oh, what do you say? Can you
I
repeat
will
it?
repeat it for Glenn.
Okay.
Because he's one of my favorite DJs.
Oh.
Anyways, anxiety is something that is part of me, but it's not who I am.
Love it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much,
Okay, I'll
Jerry.
see all of you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Safe trip. Bye bye.
I will. Bye-bye.
All right. This has been The Big Show TV.